If you own a 1 or 2 family home in New York City and you have a basement apartment, whether it's rented out, being used by family, or just sitting there, you need to know about what's happening right now, because for the first time, the city has created a real path to legalize these units, and there's money available to help you do it. I'm Joseph Ranola with the Bridge and Boro Team at Real Broker, and today I'm explaining exactly how to legalize your basement apartment in New York City, step by step. So let's start with the reality. There are an estimated 100,000 or more illegal basement apartments across New York City. Many of them have been occupied for years, decades even. Homeowners rent them out for some extra income, or family members live in them, but until recently there was no practical way to make them legal without a complete gut renovation, if that was even the possibility. And then, if that is a possibility, most homeowners can't afford it. That changed in December 2024 when the city passed local laws 126 and 127 as part of the City of Yes for Housing Opportunity initiative. These two laws work together to create a framework for legalizing basement and cellar apartments in 1-2 family homes. So here's how it breaks down. Okay, Local Law 127 establishes the actual building code requirements for what a legal basement or cellar apartment needs to have. Things like ceiling height, natural light, ventilation, fire safety systems, and egress. This is the permanent set of rules that any new basement apartment has to meet going forward. Local Law 126 is the pilot program. This is the one that matters most for homeowners who already have a basement apartment that's been occupied. This program lets you apply to keep your tenant in place while you gradually bring the unit up to code over a 10-year period. That's the key. You don't have to shut everything down and do the full renovation. You could do it in stages. Very interesting, I have to say, because the city doesn't usually work with you on things like this, or really on anything. So let me walk you through the eligibility requirements. First, unit must have been in existence before April 20th, 2024. This is not for brand new conversions. It's specifically for units that were already being used as apartments before that date. Second, the property has to be in one of the eligible community districts. The pilot program doesn't cover all of New York City. It includes 15 community districts across 4 boroughs. In the Bronx, it's districts 9, 10, 11, and 12. In Brooklyn, it's 4, 10, 11, 17, which is Bushwick, Bay Ridge, Bensonhurst, East Flatbush. Manhattan, it's districts 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And Queens, it's only District 2, which covers Long Island City, Sunnyside, and Woodside. Staten Island is not included in this current pilot, which is crazy because Staten Island has so many. Third, the property cannot be in a flood zone. If your home is in a FEMA-designated flood area, you're out. If you meet those other requirements, here's what the process looks like. You start by applying for what's called an Authorization for Temporary Residence, or ATR. You submit this through the DOB, Department of Buildings, a website using the DOB Now Build portal. The application opened on September 30th, 2025, and you have until April 20th, 2029 to apply. So there's time, but I wouldn't wait until, April 15th of 2029. When you apply, you'll need to show that the unit meets some basic safety requirements right away. These include smoke alarms, carbon monoxide detectors, a central heating system, adequate egress so the tenant can get out in case of an emergency, and proper separation between the apartment and any boiler equipment. These are minimum safety features that need to be in place just to get accepted into the program. But once you're in the program, you have 10 years to bring the unit into full compliance with Local Law 127's building code requirements. But it's not 10 years of doing nothing. There are milestones you have to hit along the way. The biggest one is that within 2 years of getting your ATR, you need to install an automatic sprinkler system. After that, there's additional milestones for things like electrical upgrades, plumbing, and structural modifications. You'll need to update your ATR documentation after meeting each milestone. The benefit of the program is that while you're working toward compliance, your tenant can stay in the unit legally. You won't face penalties for the unit being occupied during this period as long as you're making progress on the required improvements. Now let's talk about the money, because this is where it gets interesting. New York State has a program called Plus One ADU, and it offers grants of up to $125,000 to eligible homeowners who want to create or legalize an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, that includes basement apartments. The grant money can be used for design, permitting, architectural fees, surveys, construction. To qualify, you generally need to be a low to moderate income homeowner occupant of a one-family home. The program is administered through local program administrators, so the application process varies depending on where you live. You'd apply through the administrator in your area, not directly through the state. $125,000 is significant for many homeowners. That could cover most or all of the renovation costs needed to bring a basement unit up to code. If you think you might qualify, I'd strongly encourage you to look into this before you start any work. Why leave money on the table? Now, even if your property isn't in one of these 15 pilot districts, there's still a path for you. Local Law 127 applies citywide. That means any homeowner with a 1 or 2 family home can build a new legal basement apartment, attic apartment, or even a backyard cottage as long as it meets the building code requirements from the start. You'd go through normal DOB permitting process, hire an architect or engineer to draw plans, and build it to code. The types of accessory dwelling units allowed under Local Law 127 include basement apartments in 1 and 2 family homes, attic apartments in 1 family homes, and backyard cottages on the same lot as a 1 or 2 family home. These are also sometimes called ADUs, or accessory dwelling units. Now let me talk about some of the things to be aware of before you jump in. The legalization process does require real investment, even with the grant money. You may need to spend additional funds on construction, especially for the sprinkler system, which can cost several $1,000s. Get estimates from licensed contractors before you commit so you understand the full scope of what's involved. If you enter the pilot program and don't meet the milestones, there can be consequences. Some housing advocates have raised concerns that the program doesn't have a clear exit ramp for homeowners who get in but can't complete the work. So make sure you're confident you can follow through before you apply. You should also talk to an attorney who specializes in real estate or housing law. The rules are new, and there are nuances around tenant rights, building code compliance, and liability that you want to understand fully before you get yourself into any hot water, and that water is very hot. And if you're buying a property with a basement apartment that's currently occupied, pay close attention to this. Having an illegal unit can create complications during the sale process, but can also be an opportunity. If the property is in an eligible district and the unit can be legalized, that's added value for the right buyer. So let me give you the bottom line. For the first time, New York City homeowners have a real practical way to legalize basement apartments. The pilot program gives you time to do it in stages. There's grant money available to help cover the costs. And once the unit is legal, it becomes a legitimate source of rental income and adds value to your property. I put together a free guide that walks through the entire process, including the eligible districts, the timeline and milestones, how to apply for the ATR, and how to look into the +1 ADU grant. You can download it on my website, ranolarealestate.com. The exact slug is going to be below in the description and the pinned comment. If you have questions about whether your property qualifies or you're thinking about buying a home with a basement unit, I am happy to help. You could book a free consultation, again, down below. It's going to be via Calendly, so just look for that link. And as usual, make sure you subscribe for more videos like this. I cover everything about buying and selling real estate in New York City and, of course, owning the real estate every single week. I'll see you in the next one.